Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game of all time. In my last video, I talked a lot about its flaws and my issues with it. Specifically, I talked a lot of shit on the story. So now I decided I gotta put my money where my mouth. I'm gonna take a chance and try something brand new, rewriting this game in its entirety. I'm gonna split this up into just like a simple 3-act structure. Simple beginning, middle, and end. Okay, the video is already long enough as is, Jesus Christ. Let's just jump into it. The game opens with a black screen. Slowly, it is illuminated by light. Hylia's light. The light slowly forms into a shape of a man and a cat, slowly bleeding out. He clutches a sword as his hand shakes. He slowly breathes out his final breath as his sword glows with a chime. The woman's eyes contort with anger as she releases a strong burst of light. Slowly, a chunk of land rises up as we cut to a shot of her eyes. Then Link's eyes shoot open as he is awoken by Zelda's Loftwing. So already some big changes being made here. I don't love the opening cutscene of this game, so I'm changing it up a bit by adapting the Hyrule Historia epilogue manga by Erika Himikawa. I am so sorry for my pronunciation, because this depiction of events is just a lot more interesting to me than some vague shadows with text. Without further ado, here we go. Act 1. Okay, so this is kind of underwhelming, but I love the first section of this game, so I'm gonna leave it entirely untouched. Up until Link's descent into Faron Woods is exactly the same. Link touches down onto the floor of Faron Woods and sees a dead forest, leaves bare and dying. In front of him, he sees a temple, barren and abandoned. He fights some old Dekubabas and reaches the front door. Inside is a woman sitting there, old, a tuft of hair swinging. The woman tells Link that she knows what he seeks, who he seeks. She instructs him that in the core of the forest, there lies a large tree. There he will find it. Link wanders around the forest doing some quests and stuff, and eventually, he reaches said large tree in the core of the forest. When he reaches it, however, he hears a laughing from above him. He looks up and sees a pale man standing on the branch. The man introduces himself as Girahim. Girahim stands above him and begins taunting him about his precious Zelda. He teleports in front of Link, and Link attempts to swing on him, but before he can, Girahim teleports away with a laugh. Girahim in the original game is not treated with the intensity I honestly really wish he had been. So in this rewrite, I'm going to make him just much more menacing and intense. I want him to be a looming presence in the plot. Link treks into the giant tree, where he sees a figure looming. This penguin-like figure tells Link to help them all. That's all the figure says, until Link draws the goddess sword. The figure sits up and calls Link the agent of the gods. The figure introduces himself as Bucha, elder of the Kikwis. Bucha tells Link that the rest of his kind have been sealed away by a pale man, claiming himself to be an agent of the true divine being. Link instantly recognizes it as the man who had just taunted him, Girahim. Bucha also mentions that there is an ancient spirit of the temple who has been missing for many years. This isn't important now, but bookmark it. Bucha informs Link of whereabouts Girahim has been, a place known as the Skyview Temple. It's a really good point to bring up dungeons. They're pretty much flawless in the original, and I don't really want to mess with them. There will be one major change, but that's not until, like, much later. Link battles to the Skyview Temple and eventually clears it, reaching the final chamber. Here, Link is able to confront Girahim. Girahim claims to know exactly where Zelda is, and even says he'll tell Link if Link joins him. This is a good spot to talk about what is going to be an overall through line in this plot. The temptation of Girahim, but more ambiguously, demise. These two are going to be a lot different to their canon counterpart. Their main goal here is to corrupt the goddess's influence on the greater Hyrule, but mainly they focus that into the corruption of the hero. Here, Link is, easily able to deny it, but the devil will have a way of whispering to him later. The two fight, and Link eventually beats him. Here, Girahim delivers the news that he actually has no idea where Zelda is. No one does. He teleports away, and Link sees a cage where all the Kikwis are and sets them free, ready to head back to Bucha. Link is then taken to the Skyview Spring, where Fi is able to reconstruct Zelda being there and give him a view of Zelda. He can see her in front of him, but just as he reaches out, his hand goes right through her. It's all an illusion created by Fi, a reconstruction of when Zelda was there. Zelda talks to an unknown figure, just outside of Fi's range. She says that she misses Link and wants to see him again. She knows she can't, but she just feels this calling to him. Fi's construction ends as Link claims the Ruby Tablet. When he gets back to the forest, Link sees the Kikwis reunited with Bucha. Bucha sees he has the tablet and asks him if he is going to stop Girahim. Link nods and Bucha asks him to, after he's done that, help him return to find the lost spirit of the forest, which Link agrees to. Link returns to the sky and places the ruby tablet. He rushes to the dock, but before he leaves the academy, he hears crying. He slowly peeks his head into the headmaster's office and sees Gaepora crying over an old photo of Zelda. Determination flashes across Link's face as he slowly closes the door. Link rushes out to the sky, down to the next area, Eldin Volcano. As Link touches down, he is greeted by a scalding heat. As the heat beats against him, he makes his way into the deeper areas of Eldin Volcano, eventually meeting a lone Goron. The Goron introduces himself as Darunia and says he is the herald to the former Goron city. Okay, this is probably off-rip the biggest change I'm making here. I just wanted to change this part in order to add a little bit of flavor into the rewrite. And frankly, I was really disappointed how little spotlight the Gorons get in the original game. Darunia tells Link that a pale man approached him and promised him that he could restore Goron City to its former glory. Here we get some explanation of the things that have happened since our new opening. We hear about a great divine war between the goddess of light, Hylia, and evil itself. Hylia disappeared after sending a chunk of earth into the sky and separating it, leaving the rest of the world in a state of disrepair. Hence why Faron Woods are dying, Goron City is nowhere to be seen, and Lanayru Desert is, a desert. What I do want to do here is establish some of the consequences of this divine war. Am I bringing into play a tad early? Maybe, probably. But I really want to establish this early so we can have that overarching shadow of this war that I talked about a lot in my original review. After we get this mini lore dump, Darunia directs Link into the Earth Temple, which he clears. Once he gets to the boss chamber, he sees Girahim toying with a tuft of golden hair. Link, enraged, realizes it's Zelda's hair. He tries to swing the goddess sword at Girahim, who teleports out of the way. Girahim summons Scaldera, who Link proceeds to fight and dispatch. Link heads into the second spring and sees Girahim holding Zelda. A woman stands in front of him, clutching a blade on her knees. Link once more attempts to swing on Girahim, but Fi stops him and tells him not to do it, that he isn't ready yet. Link looks to Girahim, and Girahim looks back. Girahim doesn't say a word, just simply reaches his hand out to Link. Link looks to his hand, then to Zelda, unconscious, then to the woman on her knees. Without another second of hesitation, Link swings, taking Girahim by surprise. The woman springs to action, grabbing Zelda out of Girahim's hands and throwing another tablet at Link before disappearing in a cloud of smoke, which envelops her, Zelda, Girahim, and Link. As the smoke clears out in front of him, Link looks around and sees he is in front of the Earth Temple. He goes back to Darunia and explains what just occurred. Darunia encourages him to activate the last tablet and go after Zelda, stating that he'll be fine on his own. Link activates the last tablet in Skyloft and descends down to the Lanayru Desert. Honestly, this portion of the game works pretty well, so we're basically just going to keep it the same, with a little bit of changes to sort of flow better with my story. As Link and Fi descend, ready to explore the area, after a while they discover the Temple of Time and its blocked entrance. They decide to use the back route of the Lanayru mining facility as encouraged by the various robots they repair using the past crystal things. Link makes it through, and after clearing the bosses sent by Girahim to slow him down, he reaches the Gate of Time. Link sees Girahim, beaten and bloody, standing across from the woman Link had seen at the last spring. Girahim taunts her, asking her if the goddess can still speak to her the way his god does. The woman, okay, it's Impa, we all know it's Impa. Fuck it, I'm calling her Impa. Impa responds that she speaks to her clearly, and that she says the only way forward is to trust in the hero. Girahim's head flips over to Link and he grins. Girahim lunges at Link, who uses all of his skills to weave and try to strike him. While the two are locked in swordplay, Impa and Zelda use this as an opportunity to sneak off, Zelda throwing up the goddess harp behind her to Link, who is able to catch it. Girahim sees the two escaping and moves to teleport to catch them, but Link intervenes, swinging the goddess sword at him to stop him. As the blade cascades down, Girahim turns and grabs it. Claiming to be sick of Link's game, he squeezes and squeezes, cracks starting to form in the blade until it just shatters. Link stumbles back, stunned, as Girahim laughs maniacally before looking to the gate to see it now destroyed. Girahim starts raging, screaming and destroying things. Fi weakly speaks to Link from the destroyed hilt of the goddess sword. Return to the sky, she weakly calls, or the hilt goes dormant. Link runs off as fast as he can. Here we can get like a really cool running sequence and a mix of like some cutscenes and some gameplay. with Link having to sneak around, use the items he has in order to dispatch the enemies in his way, sort of like in the original game, the third time you venture back into Eldin Volcano. Eventually, though, Link reaches the statue in which he first found the Goddess Blade. And that's part 1 of this little series done. I hate it when people do this. I'm so sorry, but this video took me a lot longer than I expected to edit. So I'm going to break this up into 3 parts. Part 2 will be out in the next couple of weeks. I can't let my channel go completely inactive while I'm working on this project. Thank you so much for understanding. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Thank you.